there, Aries. Welcome to your mid-March 2022 general tarot reading. It's Rena here. I was going to say, this is a very Aries-friendly deck in a way because it's got all these red, pinkish reds that I associate with Aries people. Let's see if we can see that. The heart of the matter is the Queen of Swords. And I was noting in I got this card for another sign, and I said this is kind of an androgynous figure because, you know, queen, and look at how there's like a masculinity almost, or an androgyny. And that's because the swords represents the masculine element of air, and the queen represents the water, the feminine. And you can see the panther eyes in the background, or whatever those are. It's kind of interesting. But the Queen of Swords is really about you becoming more detached from a situation so that you're able to be intuitive and kind of feel your way through something, but not get caught up in it emotionally. And this could also be a person who represents the Queen of Swords. So it might be like an older woman, a mother, it can be the queen. But there's a detachment there. And in some cases, the detachment, I mean, the person may have good judgment, but it can be that you feel there is this, what do you call it, like a disconnect too. Sometimes it's not always that you feel that person really understands what you're going through. Maybe you feel like they're kind of in their head. You know, this is the feminine counterpart to the King of Swords, which can be like that. But this is more, because the feminine is a part of it, it's not as detached. But it's trying to be. And sometimes if you have been through something and you've just kind of been trying to hang on, hold on to your sanity, hold on to your well-being, the Queen of Swords could be representative of that. And then we have in the past position the Judgment card. So this could talk about what you've had to deal with. So reaping what you've sown. This can be legal judgment, divorce. So it could be trying to just keep your head during an emotional time, like a divorce. If it's a judgment, I mean, this is a card of karma, but, you know, unfortunately, people have the wrong idea, I feel like, when it comes to karma. And when I say karma, I'm not saying like punishment, but simply every action having a reaction. And so whatever is going on, you're trying to stay above the fray, and you're trying to use your intellect rather than your emotions to deal with it, because you are a very emotional person. There's no question about it. And you're very like spontaneous in expressing yourself. You don't hold back. So sometimes that can get you into trouble because of that. You know, when you mix emotionality and spontaneity, you can get volatility. The higher message is the Empress. If this is a divorce, then the higher message is think about the children, think about, you know, doing what's right for the child. Maybe you're pregnant and you're getting away from someone, and this is for the best interest of the child. You might be questioning yourself, you know, am I doing the right thing? But what's the best thing for the child? There might even be something that's going on that the Empress can be the mother as well. So there is this like mother energy around this reading. And even if you are not a mother, or you desire to be one, or you're in that time of life to be one, the idea of the mother is the idea of creating something and nurturing something. So this could definitely be a project. And the Judgment card can be a card of rebirth. So it might be that, an example of this, and I'm looking at it almost from the literal, sense of the word of rebirth. If you have dealt with some kind of like serious health condition, like somebody who has like a near-death experience, and all of a sudden when they come out of that, they no longer can do all the things that they used to do because they just realize that life is so different than what they thought it was. It doesn't have to be that dramatic a situation, but you may have gone through your own rebirth in some way, Aries, and it's like the Empress is about choosing the more creative side of life, whether that is raising a family or whether it is creating artistic creations that speak to others, that heal others just through how you're expressing yourself. And art can certainly be healing. There's no question about it. This may even be a business venture, starting your own business. And this may be that you have to take some of those more challenging emotions and channel them into something that is more productive, because the Empress is the Earth Mother. And yes, it is connected to Venus, so it could be also Libra, but the Taurus energy to me is so strong here. And I feel like when you create things that are tangible, that have the healing element for other people, you're doing something that is good for the world. It's not just something that is good for yourself. So it's really wonderful. What crosses you is the Magus, which is the Magician. This is a card connected to Aries. So how are you not being like you're supposed to be? Well, I was going to say, when I was talking about the Empress and I was talking about healing, is that Chiron is currently transiting through Aries, has been for a few years now. And I feel like this has had an effect on some Aries people. Maybe there are some real hard cases, but I think a lot of Aries people on one level or another have probably been feeling a sense of ultra sensitivity, or at least the kind of sensitivity that they normally wouldn't feel. And this kind of thing can create a little bit of confusion for Aries because it's so different than they normally are. Normally, you can give it as good as you can get it as good as you give. And you might find yourself feeling, a little bit touchy, a little bit less confident these days. And that having Chiron in the first house can certainly do that, because it makes you more sensitive to yourself in general. And that's a good thing for Aries, because Aries does tend to be sometimes kind of insensitive, not necessarily wanting to do something to be unkind, but just because it's just very direct, very blunt, very aggressive, and that can rub other people the wrong way, and they can feel like they're being run roughshod over. And this can make you more sensitive to yourself, and thereby it might lend itself to gaining insight into how other people feel in the similar situation. So, the Magician is all about self-empowerment, and there might be some reason that you don't feel that way. Now, the Queen of Swords might be the one person who turns your knees into jelly or something, you know? If this is like a boss and it's a female boss and it reminds you of your mother, and it's like she's very critical of you, you could feel a little bit uncomfortable because you feel like she's seeing all the negative parts of it and not the good side. And that can feel like kind of daunting. But if you're able to see this, you're able to decide what to do. The problem is when people don't really understand that they're upset about it, when they think it's just that's just the way it should be. So what we have coming in is the Seven of Swords. This can be a situation where you decide that you're going to do something that is yours and yours alone. And the number 7 is associated with meditation and contemplation and arts even. And so that might be, you might be reflecting on your life. You might be doing a lot of that inner work. And maybe you're uncharacteristically tuning into the more spiritual messages that you're receiving, but that means that you're spending time in solitude. And maybe this is because Neptune is in the 12th house and Jupiter is there too now. So maybe that's just emphasizing this area. By the way, there's going to be a wonderful conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune on April 12th, although that's an exact conjunction. I mean, they're going to be traveling very close to each other and probably are right now as I record this in the second week of, or the first week of March. So, yeah, I mean, this is really interesting that this is happening. And for Aries people, this might be something that is connected to your spiritual path. And that is making you more internalizing yourself rather than putting yourself out there. And that can be a good balance for somebody like Aries. If you rule the first house, you're going to be very extroverted. Let's put it that way. And the outcome is the Prince of Torches, which translates to the Knight of Wands. And you can see by the picture that it's a very fiery kind of a thing. They've got the fire, but then he's got, he's holding a wand. I think the wand might even have fire. Oh, no, it's got the little leaves on it. But he's holding on to I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like a wolf to me. But whatever that is, big cat or something. And the Knight of Wands it's like you're getting your mojo back. And I think that this is going to be even more so the case when I do the second half of March, because that's when the sun goes into your sign. And then maybe this is kind of like a timing card, that this is when you start to feel more like an Aries person, less like a Pisces individual, and that you are approaching life with that old sense of like warrior spirit. And, like I said, with the Queen of Swords, it can indicate that you've been through the ringer, and it's like that's part of the healing. And now it's time, towards the end of March to embrace the fire again in a positive way. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer and I do a lot of chart readings, but I also do the tarot for clients. You can check out my offerings at the link below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.